What's up? What's up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. It's NBA Talk with Jay Money and the Shark, man. My guy Shark doing the one hand violin, my guy, man. I like it, man. I like it. No matter what, got to come and do the intro. It's back every single day. There's no question if there will be a show, man. We're doing the show every single day, 11 a.m. Eastern, guys. If you hadn't checked the new time, check us out, my guys. Retweet the show as well so people know that we're live. What's up with you, Shark? Everything cool with you, my brother?
Absolutely. As you said, new show time, and that's intended to give you guys the whole day to really get through the analytics. And, of course, yesterday's show approached an hour. We know that can take time to get through, but we try to go through the details of every game so you guys can really understand our thought process of what's going on. Of course, beautiful Thursday morning on the East Coast, 11:01 a.m. 2 games on the slate today. Small card. Jay Money, lead the way, and let's get into it.
Yeah, man. 2 games on the card. Two national TV games. Y'all know how we do it on Tuesday and Thursday, my guys. So 2 games. Everybody's eyes will be on them. But let's get to it here, Shark. We got the first game up here, my guy. We got. Let's go over here to the streets of Philadelphia. Here we have the Philadelphia 76ers laying 4 points versus the Milwaukee Bucks. This is the second game for the Sixers here, Shark. I was obviously after taking the loss in game 1, and that one, but now it is the Bucks' first game here, so maybe the Sixers have a leg up over there on the Bucks. How you looking at this game, my brother?
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, Clippers and Bucks, the last 2 teams to open this 22-23 campaign. But on a subtly not so casual Thirsty Thursday, October 20th, 2022, the buy hat is engaged. We're staying the course with a good line of action here. And as Jay mentioned, this is the first game for the Bucks, which I think could be growing pains to a certain degree. And you find the Bucks in a funky travel spot, if we can even say that. They open with a one-off on the road, and then they come home for 6 consecutive home games. So this is a bit of a standalone game, and it's certainly a standalone game, motivationally speaking, for the 76ers. 76ers come in here off a loss, a non-cover at Boston. We had that incorrectly. Third quarter just got out of hand, could not defend the fast break, just became a little bit too dependent on the ISO dribble drive. However, I think Jay had made a great comment about teams that want to run, Boston being one of them. They will have an advantage over half-court teams in this campaign. Milwaukee's not really trying to get up and down that fast. They are more of a half-court set team. I think that's going to aid Philadelphia. And when you really start going through the numbers of this game, you do find a very good numerical buy on the 76ers. The 76ers have lost 3 consecutive home games to the Bucks. And if you go back to last year, both games were right on the number ATS. First one last year, Bucks got them 118 to 109 on a -6.5. Then it came back. Philadelphia did get them on the road, 123 to 120, a short line. 6.5 should have been 9.5 at home. It was short, and Philadelphia did win the game outright and cover. Then it came back to Philadelphia at a pick'em. It was a Philly line. Philly did not cover the game. They lost outright 118 to 116. Again, right on the number at home in Philly. But key point, they did melt the game off aggressively in the fourth quarter. It was, I believe, a 10-point gap in the favor of Milwaukee there. So you come home and you get the line you want. When you're at a pick'em and you lose outright and you open up at 3, you're steamed to 3.5, 4. It's a revenge game. It's a team that's fresher, a team that will function very well against Milwaukee. And, of course, Milwaukee without Chris Middleton tonight. I think Milwaukee might come out slow to start the season. We're on Philadelphia. Buy hand gauge, -3.5, 1 unit. Jay.
Yeah, I couldn't talk you off here as well. And the Sixers have lost 7 of the last 8 games to the Bucks as well. Just kind of getting hyped up as well, Shark. I remember the day where we took the Sixers plus the 6.5, and then where that was Embiid's kind of MVP game. If he wanted to be MVP, he had to show it there. I remember I was heading out on the road to Denver, Colorado, Shark, and we had the Sixers there, and they won the game outright. I remember it like it was yesterday. And then we came back on the Bucks in the revenge game, -1. Got lucky when they came back in the fourth quarter. They covered that one by 2 points. So I remember it like it was yesterday, man. The Sixers have kind of started to figure the Bucks out, right? Like you said, last year, they obviously they lost 2 or 3, but those were tight games here. The Sixers are a very improved team here, right? They really have a deep bench. I really like what they did with their bench play as well. Got to figure out what they're doing with Matisse Thybulle. But the Sixers team, in my opinion, I think they're a lot deeper than the Bucks. And right now, the Bucks are still without one of their best shooters as well, and Pat Connaughton Middleton. This team is not super deep, in my opinion. They have 3 guys on the roster that the tread may be running out on the tires. That's Wesley Matthews, Serge Ibaka, and George Hill, my guys. So I'm kind of down on this Bucks team this year. They still have Giannis, one of the best players in the team in the league over there. Drew Holiday getting up there in age. Be interested to see how Chris Middleton looks when he comes back. But until they're full squad, I do think there are spots to fade the Bucks here, Shark. And you get a really good bounce back spot for the Sixers as well. We saw Harden being like that, maybe Houston Rockets type of Harden. You can get that same game from him tonight, man. Sixers could definitely win this game by double digits, Shark. Obviously, Giannis is a good fast tempo guy, but other than that, man, you don't really see anyone hurting you on the fast breaks here, Shark. So I think the Bucks might be a little bit down, man. And personally, hot take, I think Giannis is kind of close to maybe going to a different team, Shark. What do you think about the Bucks? Maybe their window maybe closing pretty soon.
I would agree with that because I do think that, obviously we've talked about this a few times. The parity in the sport right now is just at another level. So for any team to get to the finals and win this year, I mean, it's going to take just an absolutely gigantic emotional and on-court quality effort. And in terms of their window, I mean, I think the question really is, did they really have a sustained window ever? Because I don't think they were ever that far above the rest of the league where you would say like, the Warriors or a LeBron James Miami Heat team, they're so classy that theoretically they should run off, 4, 5, 6 title runs. I don't think the Bucks ever had that quality. And as we mentioned, the Bucks caught, a bit of a funky season when they went to the finals and they got there. But a lot of things had to fall in place. So, yeah, I completely agree with you there.
Yeah, it's crazy, Shark, because I don't really think anyone's looking at it like that. Giannis has kind of talked about maybe going to play with Steph Curry. He's talked about possibly going to Chicago, all over the place, man. So we've heard some Lakers talk. We've heard some Warriors talk. Bulls, Heat, all type of stuff, man. I'm kind of one of those guys that maybe if things kind of start to derail, Giannis is like, hey, I've stayed loyal and won a championship. Why can't I go somewhere else? That's the league that we're in these days, guys. So I'm kind of trying to get ahead of the curve, but I think the Bucks will be really great against average teams. I think this is the year versus the top tier teams, especially right now without Middleton. I see them struggling, and I think their bench play will be a huge part of it, my guys. So Sixers here, it's kind of just like the Celtics game. When the bench comes in, that's when they really have the advantage, guys. Here, definitely expect the Sixers to come and clean them up here, Shark. I like it, my guy. I like it. Let's go over here to the streets. Real quick, Shark, did you have any thoughts on the total? Obviously, guys, we're not huge total guys or prop bet guys. I'm sure you guys saw that, but we'll try to do it as much as we can, Shark. Any thoughts on the total here?
Maybe an under, if anything. Of course, we saw the under the other night with the Dubs game just get backdoored, in an apocalyptic manner. I mean, some of these totals, like you're just at the mercy of just crazy, like 5-minute window variance. And, that's why we try to avoid totals. Last year I did play totals pretty effectively. I think we were up maybe like 5 to 7 units playing totals. But again, it has to be second and third matchups within this season to really see the line. If there's a very distinct line, for example, say this game tonight finishes like 108 to 100 and it goes under, it finishes at 208. And then the next game comes up to like 221.5. There's your over, there's your gap, there's your story. But right now, obviously cross-referencing with last year, we got one game on record for Philly. It's going to be sharp. It's going to be tough. And of course, it is very variant within small windows.
Yeah, that's a good point there, man. No totals for me, my guys. Shark said it. They had 40 points in the last 4 minutes of that Warriors-Lakers game 1. So if you bet and heavy money came in on it under as well. But I just wanted to ask you about the total. Obviously, only have 2 games. Just trying to have some conversation here on the show. We had 55 minutes yesterday. We might have 15 minutes show today. But we got let's go over here to the streets of LA, my guys. We got the Lakers home game, road game. It's all the same thing. Lakers in their home gym, whatever, getting 5.5 points here. The Staples Center, Crypto.com Center. You got the Clippers here laying 5.5 points here on the road here, Shark. It's even a 6 popping up. So, guys, if you do like the Clippers, might want to get on this shit. Obviously, steam coming in on them here, and it could just be a fate of the Lakers. But the Clippers are one of the top teams in the NBA this year, Shark. You liking some of this game, my brother?
Yes, sir. Going out to the West Coast, Pacific time, 7:30, 10:30 Eastern. The buy hat is engaged. As we said, Clippers open up this campaign with huge expectations. Kawhi Leonard comes back. The team is stacked 1 through 10. They're well coached and they're ready to dominate. And speaking of dominating, you have to go back through the last 7 matchups. The Clippers are on a dub 7 versus the Lakers, and I don't think that's going away anytime soon. I think purely the Clippers' on-court quality completely overmatches what the Lakers are doing. And you go back to last year, you have to start tracing the line. Pretty interesting stuff here. In the first 3 matchups last year, the underdog covered all 3. Now, you go back to the final game. The Clippers did finally hammer them 132-111 at home. Obviously, it's the same stadium, but you get the idea. -2. Now you go to the visitors' locker room, and again, adjusted for neutral averaging line functionality. When your -2 is the home team, the Lakers in a revenge game, assuming neutrality of competition, should actually be -1 here, and it's flipping the complete other direction. This opened up around 4. It's steamed to 5.5. I think that's sharps and public aligning, and I think sometimes that can happen where the sharps and the public are on the same side. And this line is all over the Clippers. I expect the Clippers to get there tonight by double digits. And you go back to the last game, Jay. I'll throw it back to you in a half second. You have to look at what the Lakers are doing on court here. I think this Lakers team is purely just a bad on-court product. Right. I mean, we said this last year when I called LeBron James, the family and friends tour over there, with Carmelo and Dwight Howard and all these guys from a previous generation. I don't think a whole lot's changed. Anthony Davis is obviously the stalwart in the middle at 29 years old. But we talked about this last year again. Anthony Davis, I don't know. Is he complacent? Is he just happy hanging out there? He got his title. He was never a big-time energy guy to begin with. He's got his title. He's in LA. He's making a lot of money. He's got LeBron. He's boys with LeBron. Whatever. I just don't think this team has a lot of motivation to compete. I think they might get hammered here, and I think they might get hammered a lot this year. We're on the number. We're on the narrative, Jay. -5.5, 1 unit.
Yeah, I don't think that it's not that they don't want to compete. They're just not good, and the team is not put together as well, Shark. I'll keep saying this, man, and we knew this. Whenever Westbrook was, whenever he didn't get traded, it's still on his team. Where everyone knows, man, this is going to be the same story as last year, man. So they got a little bit younger, but it didn't matter, man. If LeBron and AD aren't necessarily peaking, because the team will go where they go, right? The young guys will say, "Hey, step up! Oh, let's play some defense. Let's try to come and ball here." If they see LeBron and AD doing it. So that's a good point there. If AD is not bringing the energy, if LeBron is acting like he doesn't care, right? He has $1 billion. What the hell is he worried about? He's just trying to play until his son is there. So I just feel like Westbrook is a cancer, my guys. We knew ever since they didn't trade him, it's like, oh shit, here we go again, man. He doesn't want to be over there. They don't want him there. They're trying to act like it, that they're playing buddy and stuff, but this is not a bet on situation for me, my guys. The Clippers, only way I could look in this game, I'm not looking towards backing the Lakers at any point. I mean, there's a couple of preseason games where they could have stepped up and tried to get a win while they really had a chance to. The Kings smacked them a couple of times by 30 plus points. So I'm not sure with this Lakers team. This looks like the coaching change doesn't matter, man. Just this team is not bet on, if you ask me. I don't necessarily think it's motivation. They're just not good. You see the mistakes they're making on the floor, hapless turnovers. AD like can't even catch the ball, man. It's horrible, my guys. This Lakers team, this is going to be a comedy for a while now, and I think at some point they just kind of have to eat the money and cut and waive Westbrook. Obviously, they don't want to lose the money. They're paying him a lot. At some point, man, all money and good money, you got to get him away from the team, my guys, no matter whether they trade him or simply just waive him or just have him step away from the team like the Rockets did with John Wall. He's an absolute cancer there now, and they won't flourish until they get rid of him here, Shark. Clippers, the only way that I'm looking this game, my brother. It's the only thing I'm looking at. Lakers fade might be something here, like for the first 20 games, my guys.
Yeah. No, and just jumping off that, we could talk for a couple more minutes about this. Of course, only 2 games on the slate today. I think the team is just, as you said, so poorly constructed. Mm-hmm. And I do think that people in society, of course, we talk about this very often, Sports Center highlights get in the way of handicapping because people see these guys on TV on the highlights for 15 years. They still think they're good. LeBron James, as you said, is waiting around for Bronny to come in the league in 2 years. That is 100% his motivation. He's very much into Hollywood. As we said, AD, who knows the motivation? But then you go to guys like Westbrook. I mean, Westbrook is not a serviceable point guard right now. He just is not very good on either end of the court. And then you insert Patrick Beverley. I mean, this is an awful, awful signing. I mean, Patrick Beverley clashes with the whole group. Patrick Beverley, I believe, coming out of, I think, Arkansas. Don't check me on that. But
Patrick Beverley, he went to Arkansas.
Okay, yeah. He's the definition of a professional grinder. I mean, you got to respect his craft. I mean, he was essentially a nobody. He grinded his way up. But the guys on the Lakers don't want to hear his shit. And this is what we talked about the other day with the Wolves. The Wolves were the perfect franchise for him because they had younger guys that he could coach on court. Westbrook, LeBron, and AD don't want to be coached by Patrick Beverley on the court. Right. So he's a fish out of water. He's stuck in no man's land. And Darvin Ham, truthfully, is probably better served coaching a young group himself who will really listen to his mentality, his defensive mentality. I think Darvin Ham could actually be a great coach in this league, but I think this is the wrong group for him. So the whole thing is just a complete miss. And I think the Lakers really are going to have a tough go of it.
Yeah, and we got to look over at the Clippers as well, man. So it's a lot of it could be a fade on the Lakers, but I mean, this Clippers team is a top tier team over the West as well. Not necessarily sure if they're going to look like top tier team in game one, which they should versus this Lakers team, but this team is very deep, man. The starting bench could probably beat the starting five of the Lakers. Just let me say one thing real quick. I understand Matt Ryan, great story, all this. I mean, what are we doing here, man? You got Austin Reeves and Matt Ryan out here on the floor. What are the Lakers really doing here? I mean, these are good NBA players. I'm not disrespecting anybody, but we're talking about top dogs here. Really, I mean, you're playing the Warriors here. So I'm saying you're trying to win, and you got these lineups out here. Not sure what the Lakers doing right now. The Clippers, one of the best coaches in the league, my guy. Very deep team as well. When you got Norman Powell, John Wall, Robert Covington, and Nicholas Batum coming off the bench, and Luke Kennard as well. Terrence, man. These guys are literally like 10, 11 deep, man. This Clippers team is going to be scared this year, Shark. I can't wait to make some money with them. Starting tonight, my guy. I'm riding with my guy here, the Shark. You see what I'm saying? Anything else on this one, my brother?
That's it for that. 16:45 in the books. Let's close it out, Jay.
And you want to do some early looks for tomorrow or what? Just go ahead and get out of here.
I think I got to run. I haven't even looked into details, so we'll get in there tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, of course.
Let's do it, my guys. Let's get to some free picks here, Shark. What you liking on tonight's card, my brother?
2 top plays, 9 words of lifestyle. Ride the wave or get out of the water. We're taking Philly. By hat is right next to me and fully engaged. -3.5, 4 now. Wouldn't talk you off. I see this game going 5 or over. I think, as we mentioned, all the points prior. And, of course, the Clippers on the West Coast opening the campaign with championship aspirations against the Laker team that is just incomplete shambles. We're at 5.5. 6 is also fine. Hell of a show, Jay. Great conversation. We appreciate you guys in the chat. Drop your plays, your interactions as we grow this channel throughout the season, decades and centuries to come. Beautiful Thursday morning, Jay Money. Close them out and let's dominate.
Yeah, let's dominate, my guys. Yeah, guys, post some plays in the chat, man. Even though we don't necessarily give out prop picks and totals, there's definitely plenty of people in the chat giving out props, their sides, their totals, all that good stuff, man. We're all trying to cash here together. I'll have some plays here tomorrow, man. Just taking it easy today. Definitely going to watch a lot of these games, maybe make some second half bets, some live bets. But tomorrow's got probably 5 plays on the card tomorrow, man. 5 lines. Definitely have a top 3 for you guys, my guys. So I'm going to start looking at tomorrow's card today, try to get ahead of some shit. Maybe doing a light night show tonight, my guys. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Go follow my guy Shark on his new Twitter page at Sharks and Sports 88. And you can follow me as well at J Money is Money. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. We're out, my guys. Back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern. Let's get some cash.